I, James Chiusiwa,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
by the Almighty God
by the Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give
that the evidence I shall give
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
and
nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Mr. Chiusiwa, you are now free to respond to the summons. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair and your committee, my appearance before the ad hoc committee on the Chikangawa plane crash inquiry is to testify on the role I and the Minister of Defense played in the planning of the late Vice President's program on 10th June 2024, travel arrangements, passenger coordination, communications with government institutions, and events immediately preceding the departure of the plane of the Vice President from Kamuzu International Airport. I will also talk about one event that transpired after the plane crash. The role played by myself and the Ministry of Defense. Honorable Chairperson and your committee, I would like to testify that I and the Minister of Defense did not directly play any role in the planning, travel arrangements, passenger coordination, and communications with government institutions regarding the late Vice President's program on 10th June 2024. The planning and other arrangements ought to have been made by the Office of the Vice President. The Minister of Defense was indirectly involved in the planning through the Malawi Defense Force, whose aircraft was used to transport the late Vice President and his entourage. After the plane went missing, the Minister of Defense, through the Minister, Honorable Haren Kandawire, was getting updates from the Malawi Defense Force commander. The minister also joined the search team and was on site when remains of the deceased were being flown to Lilongwe. News about the plane crash. Just like many Malawians, I followed developments on the missing of the Vice President's plane and later about the crash on the radio. Principal Secretary's Committee. On 11th June 2024, I received a call from Office of the President and Cabinet, OPC, inviting me to a meeting of a committee of Principal Secretaries to plan for the receipt of bodies of the deceased, including the late Vice President from the North. I should indicate here, Honorable Chairperson, that I don't recall specifically the officer from OPC who called me to invite me to the meeting. I did not attend the meeting and subsequent meetings because of the following reasons. One, on 10th June 2024, I lost my aunt, Mrs. Kawai, at Kamuzu Central Hospital. When OPC called about the meeting, we were taking her body to Kampata Trading Center, where she used to stay, and later to Katsilizika village along the Nkoma Mission Road for burial. I therefore excused myself from the meeting. Burial of my aunt was on Wednesday, 12th June 2024. Secondly, on Saturday, 15th June 2024, I left for Madrid, Spain, to attend the United Nations Disaster Assessment and Coordination UNDAC refresher course, organized by the United Nations Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs. The course ran from Monday, 17th to Thursday, 20th June 2024. I returned into the country on 22nd June 2024. Honorable Chairperson and your committee, this marks the end of my testimony. I submit.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chusiwa, for your self-explanatory report. May I request members to, if they have any further questions or follow-up questions? Mwanza Central.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning, Mr. Chusiwa. I just want to confirm that you, as PS of Minister of Defense, you followed the activities or the events on radio, like many other Malawians. I just confirm that.
Yes, Honorable Chair and your committee.
Thank you very much. And in your presentation, you've also indicated that the Minister of Defense was getting updates from the Army Commander. Was the Minister sharing the information he was getting from the Army Commander with you?
Honorable Chairperson, not the Army Commander, but the Malawi Defense Force Commander. No, the Minister was not sharing the updates with me. But when I spoke to him after the news came out that the aircraft had an accident, he did inform me that he had been getting updates from the Malawi Defense Force Commander. Thank you.
Last one, Chair. Do you recall at what point you and the Minister had that conversation?
Honorable Chair, I cannot specifically remember at the time, but it should have, as I indicated, on that day we had left here to take the body of my aunt to Kampata and later on to the village. I was in my car with my two sisters. I don't specifically remember at what time the news came out. But usually when I'm traveling, I like listening to music. On a day like this, when we are going to a funeral, I listen to gospel music. But because of what had happened, when we started off from here, up to when we arrived at Kampata and later on the village, I was listening to the radio because I wanted to follow the developments. So this may have happened either just before arriving at Kampata Trading Center or when we had arrived at Kampata Trading Center, but I don't remember the time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry, Chair, one last question. As PS, did you assign someone to take charge of the event since you were going to a funeral in the Ministry of Defense? Did you assign someone?
No, Chairperson, I did not. Since the minister was already involved, and when I had, as I indicated, when I had started off from here, OPC had invited me to a meeting that was going to take care of issues. And since I gave my excuse, I knew that Office of the President and Cabinet would be handling the issue. I submit.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Zombatonda.
Thank you so much, Chair. I have a couple of questions, but I'll go for three just to give you an opportunity to my colleagues for now. I'll come back later. The first question, I will go through, Chair, but I will ask him directly. Who represented you at the OPC meeting, which you didn't attend?
Honorable Chairperson, the meeting was a committee of principal secretaries. I was the principal secretary for defense. I was not available and I did not attend the meeting, and no one would have represented me. It was a committee of PSs. I submit.
Thank you. Is it not a, a common practice for, because these are official matters, is it not a common practice for you to send someone when you have other assignments to represent you? Is that not, don't you normally do that?
Honorable Chairperson, it depends on the nature of the meeting. There are times when, because of the nature of the meeting, the office of the President and Cabinet will indicate that you are being invited as a PS and no one can represent you. So in this case, because of the nature of the issue that was going to be discussed, I took it upon myself not to delegate because other principal secretaries were going to be in that committee. I submit.
And thank you, Chair. In your view, what was so critical about the planning of the funeral that you couldn't delegate someone? In your view, what was so critical? What was so sensitive?
No, it was a decision that I made as principal secretary.
No, we just wanted to understand as a committee, and Malawians need to understand why in some cases you delegate. But in this particular case, you've actually said because of the nature of the matter that was going to be discussed, you could not delegate someone. And I wanted Malawians to understand what necessitated you to think in that line. What critical aspect was there?
Honorable Chairperson, the one who had made the call had indicated that I was being invited as Principal Secretary for Defense and I should attend in person. I submit.
And just for the record, you repeated, you said in your statement you can't recall that person, but you behaved like that.
No, I cannot recall the person.
Thank you so
Maybe
much.
I should add that the possibly three officers that may have made the call. It could have either been the former clerk to cabinet, Mr. Samson Ngutwa, or a director in the cabinet office, Mr. George Chande, or the director of administration in the OPC, Mr. George Mwari. But I cannot recall who specifically made the call. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. The other question, my condolences, you lost your aunt during this process. But you are aware that the state president then, Honorable Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, cancelled his external trip to Bahamas because of this funeral of the vice president. Are you aware?
Yes, I'm aware.
And why did you, as a responsible PS, chose to go to Spain before the vice president was laid to rest, and yet you are the responsible minister covering the defense and the equipment was belonging to the defense? Why did you copy the example of the president, Dr. Lazarus Chakwera? I submit.
Honorable Chairperson, as I indicated, the office of the president and cabinet did put up a committee to deal with that situation. And I knew that my colleagues were going to be able, to take care of the situation. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. But just to put it on record, I wanted you to follow the traces of this, because within the Minister of Defense, he was the most high-ranking person, and the equipment was belonging to the Minister of Defense, and he's the number one person within, as a civil servant within Defense. And he chose not to delegate anyone to the OPC meeting. He can't remember the person who called him. And before the vice president was laid to rest, he decided to go abroad outside the country, against the example that was given by the state president, who cancelled his trip. I just wanted that to be on record. I submit, Chair.
Thank you, Zombatonde. There's a Mayani, then I move along the line.
Thank you very much, Chair. Mr. Chusiwa, I just wanted to learn a few things from you in terms of the way the ministry functions versus how MDF is placed. I would like to understand who takes the The budget for MDF to Parliament, is it your ministry? Minister of Defense, where you were PS? I just wanted to learn if yes or no.
Honorable Chairperson, at your committee, the Malawi Defense Force Commander takes the budget of MDF to Parliament.
So does that mean that then you are the budget holder of the Malawi Defense Force? Is it so, technically?
No, I'm not. I indicated that the Malawi Defense Force Commander takes the budget of MDF to Parliament, not the Ministry of Defense and not the Secretary for Defense.
Okay. Where do you come in between yourself and the Minister of and MDF? Where do you actually interact? I want to learn that from you, because you are the main PS Defense and MDF is Malawi Defense Force. So the defense is appearing on both sides technically. I would like to learn where you interact, the intersection, if I would use that word. I would like to learn that from you. Thank you.
Yes, as you, Honorable Chair, and your committee, as you have indicated, the Ministry of Defense is the parent ministry for the Malawi Defense Force. There are some issues that are done after some consultation between the two. But because the Malawi Defense Force Commander is a controlling officer in his own right, there are a lot of things that the Malawi Defense Force Commander, as controlling officer of the Malawi Defense Force, makes decision on his own without involvement of the ministry.
Okay, let's put an example that Malawi Defense Force wants to buy an aircraft. How will that budget get to Parliament? Can I learn from you on that aspect?
Honorable Chair and your committee, if Malawi Defense Force would like to procure an aircraft, there were some changes that were made, I think, in the PPDA Act. The issue will be discussed by a IPDC of Malawi Defense Force. And it was like it is at Malawi Defense Force. The ministry is not part of that IPDC. But after a decision has been made, it is supposed to be presented to the Defense Council for approval. And during the period I served as a Secretary for Defense from April 2024 to October 2025, there was no meeting of the Defense Force that did discuss procurements at MDF.
Okay, Chair, I'm asking those questions because I want to learn on how your inventory as a ministry is in terms of what did you have as a ministry against different departments or state organizations. In that manner, do you know or do you have any inventory on how many aircraft? I don't want you to say the number, or I just wanted to learn if you know if MDF has aircraft in any inventory, or if MDF has vehicles, or if it is lacking such issues. I want to learn from you as a minister if you are aware of such issues.
Honorable Chairperson and your committee, the Ministry of Defense does not maintain an inventory for the Malawi Defense Force. We maintain an inventory of equipment that the ministry has. Thank you.
Chair, my last question. Does that mean that you don't know that even Malawi Defense Force has a donia or a helicopter, whether it is functional or non-functional, such that you don't even know who uses what according to their arrangements as a ministry responsible? You don't know anything that happens in that sector in that manner.
Honorable Chairperson and your committee, the question that the honorable member asked me earlier is whether the Ministry of Defense has an inventory of MDF assets. And that was my response. I know that the MDF has a donia, the MDF has helicopters, and I think, as you have indicated, I don't have to indicate numbers. But in terms of maintaining an inventory of assets for the Malawi Defense Force, that is not maintained by the Ministry of Defense, but by Malawi Defense Force. Thank you, Honorable Chair and your committee.
Honorable, we go to Nkatabe North.
Thank you, Chair, for giving me this question, chance to ask question to Mr. Chusiwa. My question, I've got 3 questions. First question is, what is the Ministry of Defense administrative law in the authorization or oversight of VIP transport mission using Air Force assets?
The Ministry of Defense has no role in that regard. Thank you.
All right. What is the administration step should have been taken at ministry level before the aircraft was assigned to carry the Vice President on 10th June? Were those steps taken? If yes, produce the documentation. If not, explain why.
Honorable Chair and your committee, as I indicated, the Ministry of Defense does not play any role in the utilization of Malawi Defense Force assets. As indicated, the Malawi Defense Force commander is a controlling officer in his own right. And when requests are made, whether by government ministries, departments and agencies, or individuals, those requests do not pass through the Ministry of Defense. They go directly to the Malawi Defense Force headquarters, and they make decisions without even consulting the Ministry of Defense. Thank you.
Chair. So on this particular day, you mean that there was no any information concerning the procurement of the aircraft for the VIP?
No, Honorable Chair and your committee.
Ilongemude.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chairperson. I'm asking questions for clarity, PS. So I'll ask you the first question. I have just 2 simple questions. Within the civil service, do you delegate when you are specifically invited to attend a meeting as a PS?
Yes, there are times when I delegate.
When
I used to delegate.
Okay. The second question that I have is when you are traveling outside as a principal secretary, do you seek leave of absence or you seek permission from the chief secretary or SPC for you to travel outside? And on this particular day when you were going for your trip to Madrid, did you seek that leave of absence to request that you be allowed to travel?
Honorable Chair and your committee, as Principal Secretary, when I travel, when I am to travel outside the country, I seek leave of absence. I request a leave of absence from two superiors. The first one is the minister responsible. So at Minister of Defense, with regard to the Madrid trip, when I got the invitation, I deployed a memo to the minister to indicate that I've been accepted to attend this refresher course, and the minister approved. After that approval, a PS is also supposed to seek approval from the chief secretary or the secretary to the president and cabinet then. So after the approval of my minister, I did deploy another memo to the secretary to the president and cabinet, who also approved. And it was on that basis that I proceeded with the trip. Thank you.
Chair Nzozimvai.
Thank you so much, Chair, for giving this chance the people of Ncheuzonzimvai to ask a question of Mr. James Chiosiwa. As a PS, as a former PS, I would like to appreciate the standard interministerial process when the Vice President travels by military aircraft on an official functions, which ministries are involved. What are these respective responsibilities? And was that process forward in relation to the 10th June 2024 flight? Thank you.
Honorable Chair and your committee, I may not know all the ministries that are involved when the Vice President travels, because that is the responsibility of the office of the Vice President. But what I would say, when military assets are involved, is that the office of the Vice President would have to get in touch with the Malawi Defense Force to find out the availability of the asset that they would like to use. And after that, it's like they will proceed to make their plans. The Ministry of Defense is not involved in any way, and it is not possible for me to indicate which other MDAs are involved in that planning process. Thank you.
Planta Malabada.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. My interest was similar to the Zamayani's inquiry into the inventory of the MDF, but Mr. Chusia has said that the ministry does not keep any records. But I would like to find out as to why this is the case, since this is the mother ministry for the MDF. Why do they not also keep records of the inventory? Thank you, sir.
Honorable Chair and your committee, I will respond in this way. Before I became Secretary for Defense, I was Secretary for Local Government. And I think, as most members of this committee may know, the Ministry of Local Government is responsible for all district councils, all city councils, and 2 municipal councils. All these councils have different assets. The councils themselves maintain an inventory of their assets. At the Ministry of Local Government, we did not maintain assets of all councils in the country. So I did not see it as a surprise when I moved to Minister of Defense that I should be interested in maintaining the inventory of assets of the Ministry of the Malawi Defense Force when the Malawi Defense Force commander is a controlling officer. Thank you.
Zakasena?
Thank you so much, Chair, and once again, good morning, Mr. Josiwa. I have 3 or 4 questions which I feel I need to engage the witness chair for you. The first one is you were a controlling officer of Minister of Defense. I've tried to understand and to listen to your testimony so that I understand where you separate the two. Because you have said the Malawi Defense Force, the controlling officer is the commander. Is it Malawi Defense Force commander? I want you to take us through the reporting line from the Ministry of Defense as a parent policy holder, I must believe so, and the Malawi Defense Force. I know Malawi Defense Force, there's Malawi Air Force, there's Marine. What's the reporting line? Who reports to who? Because in your presentation here, you were saying, for example, when the news broke out, you couldn't update the minister. Rather, it was the commander and the minister talking directly. The controlling officer, who is the policy holder, which was you were in the dark. So can you take us briefly, maybe in a minute, 60 seconds, or 120 seconds, 2 minutes? What's the reporting line between the ministry and Malawi Defense Force?
Honorable Chairperson and your committee, the Malawi Defense Force commander interacts with me, interacts with the Secretary for Defense, as well as the Minister of Defense.
Point of order, Chair. I want you to be mindful of the words you are using, because I've said the reporting line. So I don't think reporting line and interacting, I have 2 different meanings of interactions. You can interact the way you and me were interacting, can be official or unofficial. So I'm asking the official line of reporting between the minister and MD.
Honorable Chairperson and your committee, I've taken note of the intervention by the honorable member. I will then indicate that the Malawi Defense Force commander can report to the Secretary for Defense. He can also report to the Minister of Defense, and he also reports to the Commander-in-Chief of the Malawi Defense Force. Thank you.
All right, Chair. We'll go to the next question, because I'm not yet convinced with the word "can report." It means it's optional. He can choose not to report, or.
Yeah, Honorable Chair and your committee, I think I should indicate that reports. So it's like the Commander, MDF, reports to Secretary for Defense, reports to the Minister, and reports to the Commander-in-Chief.
Thank you. We'll come back to that response later. Let's go to the next question for the Chair. Not related to the June 10, 2024 incident, which you are here to respond to, but I want to build on from the response from this. At any point, you being the Secretary for Defense, when you are saying the commander do report to the Secretary of Defense, the Minister, and sometimes Commander-in-Chief, that's the President, I take it like that. At any point, has the commander or his subordinates report to you relating to any Air Force operational readiness or any operational challenges concerning administrative budget for the Defense Force, let's say budgetary issues, procurement or policy issues which need to be addressed, which they thought it is in a short, or it's not within their best for them to serve this nation. At any point, do you remember?
Honorable Chair and your committee, not specifically reporting to me, but I will speak to an incident that occurred, and that was during the time when the Minister of Defense was Honorable Monica Changanamuno. When the commander comes, there are times when he would engage the minister on his own, and there are also times when I would be invited to attend those meetings. And I think it was during in preparations for the 2024-25 budget. There was a discussion about the need for more funding to the Malawi National Service, who do the productive activities for the Malawi Defense Force. And we did discuss that issue, and the minister took it, so he indicated that he was going to take it up with the Minister of Finance. Thank you.
All right, apart from maybe the reporting from the commander, but you as a controlling officer, you as a parent ministry of Malawi Defense Force, Malawi Air Force, Malawi Marine, and other and Malawi National Service, as you have said, have you had at the ministry level then a time to assess assessing whether there was a limitations of any limitations which they were affecting Air Force ability for safety and effectively conduct their VIP transport missions or their own officer air transport mission prior to 10 June 2024?
Honorable Chair and your committee, yes. There were discussions to the effect that the Malawi Air Force had a number of helicopters that were out of service. And this was an issue that was discussed during a meeting of the Defense Council. And I serve as the secretary in that council. So it was an issue that was discussed, and a decision was made that the Air Force commander should identify service centers that could repair some of the helicopters. Thank you.
I know I've noted that sometimes you're able to remember, sometimes you cannot remember. I fully understand. But can you recall when was that? The time the decision was made to tell Air Force commander to find the service center to service these properties?
I cannot specifically recall, but that was at the last Defense Council meeting I attended. It may have been towards the beginning of 2025.
So that was after the incident. I was asking before, not relating to June 2024. Before that, there was no any plan to service anything.
Honorable Chair and your committee, No. It's like it was not towards the beginning of 2025. It was, because I recall, it was before, it's like the incident we are discussing here. This happened in June. Yeah, so it may have been towards the beginning of 2024.
All right, maybe just lastly, now you sit in the Defense Council. The incident happened. You had area one made recommendations to have the Air Force commander to check if safe centers to service this. You combine these two, and that would be my chair. Did you get any report from Air Force commander? Where are we on servicing those, including this one, if it was fit to carry the VIP, the one which was involved, MAF 13, is it? And then lastly, after the incident, I'm sure the Defense Council met. I don't want to go into details of that because I'm not so sure the legality of it. But what was discussions and your findings and the recommendations at the Defense Council? What shortcomings you noticed after that fateful incident, and what recommendations the Defense Council made? But you must have in mind that your first recommendation in early 2024, before this incident, was yet to be implemented. So I want you to have those two responses at hand. I submit, Chair.
Yeah, Honorable Chairperson and your committee, I could be mixing up at the time frame on when the Defense Council did discuss the issue. But then I will indicate that after the Defense Council had directed that the Air Force commander should identify service centers where the helicopters could be repaired, there was the team went out. They went to South Africa, identified, visited a number of service centers, and identified one that they felt could repair some of the helicopters. And there was a meeting at Malawi Defense Force headquarters where the film of the service center that was identified did make a presentation on how they could go about repairing. That time, we were talking about the two Pumas. And the other question related to discussions that took place at the Defense Council, Honorable Chairperson and your committee, I would like to indicate that indeed after the accident, there was an extraordinary Defense Council meeting that was held, but it was held while I was in Spain. And the Minister of Defense chairs the Defense Council. And the former Minister of Defense, I think, will be appearing before your committee, Honorable Chair. So I am of the view that he will be able to take that question. I thank you.
Zomba City South.
Thank you so much, Chairperson. Let me also join my friends in thanking Mr. Jusiwa for making myself available to this committee. Chairperson, I just wanted also to make follow-ups to what my colleagues have already asked. I think there was an issue of you taking leave of the Minister of Defense on your travel to Spain. And I think you did say you took leave. But would like to know, when is it that you took leave? Was it after the happenings, or it was way before the incident? We want to know that because as Zomba Tondwe did ask, the approvals might be there, but people were supposed to make decisions whether to travel or not. I've also taken note, Chair, from his last submission, that he also missed a Defense Council meeting because he was in Spain. I'm just wondering, what was so important about this Spain trip that you miss the PS's meeting? You also miss the Defense Council meeting because you had to attend to business or a meeting in Spain. I just want to know how critical this Spain meeting was versus the national issue that was here affecting our country, losing 9 people, including the second citizen. Chairperson, I also wanted to check with the witness. I know that the council of the committee of PSS, there's also the MDF commander in there. You might want to confirm that. I would want maybe you to respond to that before I proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, and your committee.
I just wanted you to confirm if the MDF commander was also part of the PSS committee.
No, I cannot confirm since I did not attend the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You did not attend the meeting, but you don't know the composition of the PSS committee.
No, this was, Honorable Chair and your committee, this was I would say, an ad hoc committee. When there are different activities being done or an activity to be done, and OPC feels that there should be a committee of PSS, they decide which PSS should be in that committee. So since I did not attend the meeting, I cannot know who were members. I think Office of the President and Cabinet would be better positioned to indicate. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So that also indicates to me that you are not privy to what they discussed, your colleagues discussed in that meeting as PSS. Obviously, you are not privy to what they discussed because you don't know who was there and you don't know who chaired that meeting.
Honorable Chairperson and your committee, yes, that is correct. As I have indicated, on the 11th of June 2024, when this meeting was called, I was going to a funeral of my aunt.
Thank you so much. Next, Chair, I also want to find out from the witness, when he was responding to the Zagasina, you did mention that MDF commander reports to you. Can you confirm?
Yes, because MDF.
Thank you. I just wanted the yes. Chairperson, meaning that if MDF commander reports to Secretary for Defense, it means he is the father of the MDF. He's supposed to take that leadership in a way because the head of the MDF is reporting to him. So this is where I'm going now. There are matters to do with equipment, like the Zagasina did ask, issues to do with HR, including the pilots and what have you. In that regard, wouldn't be wrong to say that you are the responsible person because the MDF commander reports to you even on these matters. I'm taking this to where now I want to go because one of the recommendations from the report, a BFU report, there are several recommendations, but several are touching on the Ministry of Defense. Meaning, the issues, for example, I should read the recommendation on page 17, which says the Minister of Defense, who is your boss, of the Republic of Malawi should ensure that aircraft of the MDF or Malawi Armed Forces transporting persons are equipped with the emergency locator transmitter, and there are also other issues to do with the airworthiness of the machines. So you should be in the know of the condition of these machines that are under your responsibility. I should extend, Chairperson, that we are aware as a committee, like the Zakasina said, that the helicopters that are lying idle somewhere in Malawi, purportedly because we don't have personnel to fly those machines. And I think in 2024, these helicopters were around. So I just wanted you to also speak to those things, because we expect that the Secretary to Minister of Defense is on top of making sure that the resources are made available to the Minister of Defense, because the head of the defense, who is the commander of MDF, reports to you. Chairperson, I submit.
Honorable Chairperson and your committee, I just would like to request the Deputy Chair maybe to elaborate a bit more on, you said that the helicopters were lying idle because of some other issues. Yeah, which helicopters are these?
Thank you so much, Mr. Jusiwa. We have information that we have got planes that are lying idle, I think in the southern region, belonging to the MDF, that are not in operation because we do not have the necessary human resource that has been well trained to fly these machines.
No, thanks very much, Honorable Chairperson and your committee, and thanks for the elaboration. Well, I will indicate that it is two aircrafts. They are fixed wing aircrafts that are in Blantyre, and they are not helicopters, and that's why I think I wanted that clarification. As I indicated earlier, the Malawi Defense Force commander indeed reports to me as Secretary for Defense, and I also indicated that he also reports to the minister, and I also indicated that the Malawi Defense Force commander is a controlling officer in his own right. So the Malawi Defense Force commander does not report to the Secretary for Defense everything that he has to do with the Malawi Defense Force. He will report to the Secretary for Defense on issues that he feels the ministry should assist the Malawi Defense Force in addressing a particular issue. But there are a lot of things that the Malawi Defense Force commander decides, takes action, and addresses things without consulting the Ministry of Defense.
I thought we were coming to a conclusion. I'm still seeing hands. So it means there's more areas to be. Okay, can I ask my question?
But Chair, I had a supplementary.
Maybe Chair, there are, I think, some other questions that he raised that I have not yet.
Okay, I'll allow you to answer.
Thank you, Chair. The taking leave of absence was done before the incident.